or extra 5 trillion that will now go into education, healthcare, and all of that stuff. But they were wrong. Subsidy was gone. 5 months after Mele Kyari told the world that Nigeria was paying 450 billion naira every month for subsidy. So Nigeria was supposed to be saving 450 billion naira every month. But they lied to you. I told you this from day one. And I will continue to. And they will continue to confess to it. Even as much as a lot of you probably are already like conquered, that you believe there's nothing you can do. There are those who need this information to understand that if you don't stop these guys, they will never stop. They have now privatized the National Commonwealth of Nigeria, and Nigerians are currently living off rent, kind of. Okay? So where is the money that you've been saving? There is no account for it, but they can tell you that the states in Nigeria are now receiving more money than they've ever received. So that is the money. But they also lie to you. They are lying to you. Apart from the fact that the first 2 months that they told you subsidy was gone, they were still paying it, but not the way they used to. This time, the dollars that the supposed marketers were using to bring fuel to Nigeria was subsidized. As you were struggling to get a dollar for 700, 800 naira or 900 naira to a dollar, well, Tifnumbu's government was giving it to the marketers for less than 400 naira to a dollar. So that lasted for a while. It wasn't sustainable. So they devised other means. By then, they've already changed the personnel, those in charge of that subsidy money. And guess what now, ladies and gentlemen? Under Tifnumbu, the subsidy is back. And now they are now paying nearly 1 trillion naira a month. And this is not coming from me. It is coming from them. But they know you won't pay attention. Because what do you know? Or would you ever care? Do you even understand what that means? No. They know you won't care. But if I tell you now that, let me tell you something. The Yorubas are better than the Kinikon. The Igbos are better than this. A lot of you now will begin to masturbate in public. Shamelessly. Because now there your strength go day. But for this one, they are just stealing the money. No, they are destroying you. And they are destroying millions of people like that, including children. They are not just stealing the money. You are paying for it. You will pay for it. Your children will. As long as you are part of this contraption. So somebody is already doing the math there, okay? Go and find why. 700,000 barrels of crude oil stolen from January 2016 to December 2023 every month. Every day. Not every month, 700,000 barrels every day, okay? From 2016 to 2023 December. You find why, how many liters of barrel, how many millions of barrels of crude oil was stolen in the year under review, and how much money is the total of that if you sell each at $108 per barrel. So find why. God bless you. Somebody is there doing the Lord's work. Clap for that guy. That's smart. Somebody's going to come up with a figure at the end of the day. Abi? So there is nothing to use in backing this fake recovery naira, but they are doing something though. The same abracadabra. Now that Nigeria is secretly spending 950 billion naira on a subsidy, and you are still buying the fuel at 650 naira per liter. They are already telling you in Ghana now 1,300 naira per liter be petrol. So that you are paying 650 and you are not yet paying 1,400 naira is because Tifnumbu and his gang, they are secretly paying themselves 950 billion, nearly 1 trillion, meaning money that should possibly go into funding children education. creating enabling environment in a way that after defeating or chasing away their own state-sponsored terrorists, you are able to actually make life and living out of the land of your forefathers, your ancestral lands. You can cultivate them. You can grow your own food. You can grow your own wealth. 12 trillion naira a year going into the private pocket of criminals, mostly anonymous, like they did under Bokwari. They are secretly doing it now. Just a quick flashback in case if you have forgotten. And in case if you have, I will implore you to please use the phone on your hand and go on to Google right now and say, Buhari removed subsidy 2015. You will see a news that came out when Buhari removed subsidy. And everybody said Buhari made a very great political decision. And in January or February of 2016, that was the first time the price of petrol went up from 87 naira to 145 naira. They managed to renegotiate it down to 120 naira, remember? In 2017, they removed subsidy again. And they said that is why the price of petrol will go up to 200 naira, but you renegotiated it down to 145 naira. Lastly, in 2018, Buhari removed subsidy again. This time they said the ones they have been removing in the past, now partial removal. Don't ever forget this because this happened under this dubious terrorist APC. They removed subsidy under Buhari 3 times so that they can tell you that's why the price of petroleum went up 3 times. And of course, you know, they were paying trillions to to their fellow friends. God knows who probably bring in guns and fund terrorism and all that. Don't ever forget that. In case if you have forgotten, it is not Tinubu that will first remove subsidy. Don't ever be that naive. And don't pretend that you have that short memory that I have to remind you. And you are so surprised. Is that true? Oh, is that true? It's 100% true. And that's exactly what Tinubu is doing. They're going to tell you later that he's removing subsidy again. And you'll be like, we thought subsidy. I say, no, we didn't remove. That's why. If to say they remove it, do you think you'll be buying fuel for 650? Do you know how much is the landing cost? You are seeing it everywhere. You are pretending it's not true, okay? But this is what they do. And that's the money that could go into something else, right? They already removed it. You're already paying 650 naira. Some people are paying over 700 naira to a liter. A lot of people don't even mind anymore. The cost of living has responded to that. But now that you realize that what they removed to increase the price of petroleum, when you are paying 167 naira to a liter, Nigeria was paying 450 billion naira a month for subsidy. Now you are buying it for over 600 naira to a liter, but yet Nigeria is paying nearly 1 trillion naira a month for subsidy. Like what kind of wizardry be this one? Which kind of economics be this one? Like, when are they actually going to be so tired of all this nonsense? That's why I told you, if you don't take them out, they will never stop. You get that? Now, let's use this as a little break. While the young people in Nigeria are there fighting for their ancestors, like this young man in his 40s, by the way.
I want to declare without equivocation. Sorry, please. Declare, leader. Today, I want to declare without equivocation. Sorry, please. Declare.
While the lives of the young or supposedly youth in Nigeria have been mortgaged, only few that are possibly not in that bracket, seriously, have the courage to actually stand up and say it, not to talk of fight it. Unfortunate, right? Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria has been using the money we believe now. We don't know how much money these guys are fleecing Nigeria right now. But we have so many evidence right now that says if these guys are actually existing in a country that is a real place, from Tifnumbu to the shitty man, and then that's Alhaji Shekau shitty man, down straight to Oduduwa Emefiole, Kadobi Kadoso, These guys will be in jail. They won't be deciding what your economic or what your monetary policy on your economy will be tomorrow. They will not. But Nigeria is not a real place, unfortunately. These guys are not improving in anything that will improve by any means, boost the power of your naira to say, well, we got this. These guys are borrowing money. Like you are borrowing money at the original price, I mean, the market value. Nigerian naira is still Nigerian naira with nothing to back it. Okay? And then these guys, these genius, they went on to borrow money, borrow dollars. And then they opened shop, right? And they started giving these dollars to their own after scrutiny, like after checking. Because remember, they first told you that the reason why Nigeria dollar was crashing was because of all the speculators. The same speculators they created when they said they were floating the Nigerian naira. Do you know what that means in economic term or economics term, right? Okay, I didn't know it myself until I kind of have to figure it out. Layman way. Floating is like something that is just there. Like if you put something on the water and it keeps floating and floating, you know, it's pretty much like it's a free-for-all. Okay? If it's actually in the ocean, right? A fish, or if it's a big object, a shark could actually aim at it. And by the time it bites it, just jump in like, oh, this is not edible. You know what I mean? That's exactly what they did to your naira. Yeah, we hands up. We do not have anything to back it anymore. In fact, we have run out of dollars. We've run out of the whole thing. They've emptied the Central Bank of Nigeria. No dollars. Can you believe that? Because what was supposed to be bringing in dollars is like a straw. You know that if you have a pipe like that takes water, all right, and the water is coming from here, going here, okay? So, and it's a pipe, and I decide to just tap it here, not far from the source. I tap it here, and I put in a straw or like hose in it. The water is still flowing, but it's never going to flow at the full current anymore. So it simply means I am taking part of it. Somebody else plugged theirs here, others here, there, and there. So by the time it gets to the final destination where the water is headed, right, it's probably going to be droplets. And you will never fill a tank with that. That's exactly what they have done. All of the revenue source for Nigeria, these guys have either privatized them and owned them, like they've made deals behind the scene. These were supposed to be political people where we say you elected them or they were selected to come and hold public office, only to now corner it and own the source. I can't even believe this. Do you get that? So Nigeria then have nothing in the tank. So sometimes they want to bend the tank so that they can see some sort of a droplet here, and maybe some stuff can come out. Now, when they bend the tank like this, what they are doing is that they are bending you. They are squeezing you. Okay? The economy is tough. Your businesses are under attacks of a different, well, they call it multiple taxation. It's more than multiple. Okay? Your business is struggling in a terribly managed economy, but yet their sharks are coming to squeeze something from you. That's them bending the tank because the whole place is empty. Do you understand? So that's what the likes of Emefiole did. And they said they were floating it. So if you have dollars, go and sell it. So according to them, once you begin to sell your dollars, I begin to sell mine, and all of us begin to sell, there will be dollars back in the whole circulation. And they can mop all of that up and claim ownership of it and give you naira. This is the economy policy. I don't know how to explain it to you better. The rest you're going to be hearing are just going to be economic jargons. But that's what they are doing, because they are those who write they are the ones who write the rules. Do you understand? So if they come out and tell you that it's only 4% people that are unemployed in Nigeria, and you're like, are you joking? Are you serious? Are you being serious right now? I'd say, yes, we are serious. We write the numbers anyway. We are the ones who can write and say. So these guys are taking dollars from everywhere they could get them. Okay? And listen, I was here when I sort of exposed the, well, I didn't expose, it was public. Okay? And when I shared with you what we called, what's that again? When they took loan from Afrexim Bank. So they said they wanted to use the $3.3 billion to defend the Naira. What they meant by that was that the way to reduce stress on the Naira is that if they can control, now that the floating has collapsed, okay? So it's that if they can control how people access it, now that they have some, and tell them how much to sell, it doesn't matter how much they got it. Nigeria can bear the loss. But for now, we need to look good, okay? So now let's start selling it at, oh yeah, I'm going to sell this pen, 1,500 Naira. 1,500 Naira, Baba, come on now. So what, last week, you remember now 1,006 last week? Okay? Yeah, I'll do it for 1,400. Then tomorrow morning, I was like, oh man, that night, yesterday evening was so great. I'm going to sell this pen for 1,000. You are a man of God, though. Hey, you don't know how many lives you are changing, sir. You are saving us 400. Eh? You are a good person. Oh, thank you. 1,000. I said, yeah, 1,000. In the good old days, this pen na 10 Naira. But look at you. You have done so well. Thank you so much. So, oh, no, it's all right. It's all right. So where is that 400 going to come from? Don't worry, they will pay it, but they don't know that they will pay for it. That's exactly the game they are playing. So now we have been told that over $300 million has been taken secretly from the Nigeria Foreign Reserve. Abba. Una don't borrow over $7 billion. From this $7 billion, una don't access over $4 billion from it. You are still waiting for the balance of over $3 billion. All of this coming from borrowed money, okay? Tinubu's government claimed that they have shared, I mean, to be honest, by the way, the Tinubu's government have shared over, so far, like every month now, they have shared over 50 trillion Naira, okay, to the state, local government, and themselves. And according to them, it's because now that they are not paying money on subsidy, so they have more money. But what they didn't tell you is that from the last count, Tinubu's government, they have printed over 14 trillion Naira right now. You know, so we still talk about the Emefiole's money printed. In 8 years, Emefiole printed 27 trillion. Okay, in 8 years. In 10 months, Tinubu's government have printed, Kadobi has printed over 14 trillion Naira. I know a lot of you already have the March money. Have you seen the March note? Because it's like every month that they print money now. I won't be surprised that the money they are even sharing to cover up the continued lies they are telling you about Nigeria crude oil that is improved now. They are making money. They are not. They are not making any money from there, for real. Because most of it don't even end up in Nigeria. Nigerians say pause as we speak. So they are printing money. And if this is April, in another 1 week now, you will see April money, new notes. When you get to May, you will see new notes in May. They are almost, we don't know how much they have printed so far. There are those who have already told us that they have printed over 14 trillion Naira. And they will print more. Nigeria independence in 1960. Between 1960 and 2015, 55 years, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria Central Bank, even during the war, Nigeria Central Bank money they printed and loaned to the federal government of Nigeria for 55 years before APC. Guess how much? Can you guess? Don't worry, we don't have much time. For 55 years of central bank in Nigeria history, látàyè pound, to naira, they've only printed 700 billion naira in history, 55 years. But between 2015 and 2023, Emefiele printed 27 trillion for APC, Egbekegbe, $50 billion, and the money disappeared. No Shengbang, no CC, no traces. And the rogues who did it, they are elder statesmen. They are leaders in Nigeria today that you cannot talk about anyhow, or else you'll be charged for treason. Because you are about to, you're calling them thieves can cause problem in Nigeria. You want to cause problem? You want to cause problem? Yeah? You're a criminal for trying to cause problem. Yeah? So you go to jail. That is what Nigeria is today. But ladies and gentlemen, whatever Bokwari did, if Numbo will do, I don't know. So sometimes it can be very scary. You know what I mean, right? Igbophobia is real. And we must continue to tell our people, this is government sponsored. Wike is clashing with an Igbo man in Abuja. And according to him, it's actually the surprise that an Igbo man could have that kind of properties. How did he do it? And they started manufacturing other lies just to make him look bad, or, you know what I mean? Like, they are not accusing him of stealing, but they are saying that he was favored. And this was done by some crooked government officials. And as for Wike, he is taking over the land. And there is nothing anybody can do about it. But I want you to first hear the full story. What really happened? Do you have time? Of course you do. Here.
What happened yesterday was all of a sudden, our project managers and all the ETCs of them are in the site working. The next thing that we had is that both police, both Navy, both Army, both the civil defense, all of them converge in the site with caterpillars for demolition of the properties.
Now, before this happened, did you receive any notice?
We didn't receive any notice, but 2 weeks ago, they sent the caterpillar and demolished a small portion of the fence. That is the only kind of notice that we received. And when we saw that, on our inquiry, we discovered that the Honorable Minister, Wike, was interested in the property. So we quickly went to the court to report to the court, because already there are 2 different court judgments over that property. And outside the 2 different court judgments, we now went into the court and asked court that this is what is actually happening. In view of that, the court now issued a court order. Then we went to the other part of it, because the lands are in 2 different documents, and also secure another court order stopping that nothing should be done.
So confirm for us again the title you have over this land.
We have offer letters and we have certificate of occupancy.
Now, has there been any dispute over this land between you and any other party?
Yes, originally the land that was given to us is including where the Sunrise are now. But all of a sudden, without even revoking of our title, part of it was cut and given to Sunrise, and they started developing that area. But during the time of last year reconciliation, when we have the judgment on the order of mandamus, there is a kind of reconciliation which they have said, okay, part of where the Sunrise are developed already, not where they are also developing, that we should concede it to them and take over the other part of it. that have not been developed and some area where they are about developing. That was what was reached. And in view of that, the whole settlement was done and all our documents was released back to us. Right. So issue of being in contention does not even arise, because if the land is in contention and a demolition ought to be made,